All right, this corporation is doing a cost benefit analysis. We'll bring in the data. On the exam, you don't need to paste them in like this. And so, because you'll have it in writing right next to you, so it'll make it a lot easier. All right, so here's what we have. I'm going to unwrap the text, actually. Oh, actually, I do want to wrap it, sorry. All right, so here, very, very, very similar. So we've got those cash flows, we have to put them in time, so you're going to have dates, and you have to have time, you have to have both of those. Yeah, remember for the discounted payback, you have to have those both in there. So the dates, just start with today, equal today. So equal today, open close parentheses. So there's today. And then we're going to use the half-year convention. Y'all remember how to do that? Some of y'all have a little problem with this one. You want to add half a year to the first one. That's 183 days, or 184, next year's leap year. And then after that, what do you add? 365, right? You want it in full years. So you add, or 366, whatever gets you. And we only need 3 years. So you got time 0, you got year 1, year 2, year 3. We're using the midpoint of year 1, the midpoint of year 2, the midpoint of year 3, so we can do that mid-year convention. We're going to assume all those cash flows, they're evenly distributed throughout the year. I'm not going to throw any curves here either and say the last cash flow is evenly throughout the first half of the third year after December or something. You know, nothing crazy like that. So what is this in time? Well, in time it's 0, 0.5, 1.5, and 2.5. All right? So you'll set that up. I'm not going to be real picky if you miss by 1 day, but I prefer that you not miss by 1 day because that way your answer will be exactly right to the penny and I can grade much faster. But
So you want us to use 184 instead of 183?
well, just make it all the 5th. Whatever it takes to get you the same day of the month. All right, that way you don't run. All right, and then after that, you set up your cash flows. So you just type them in. The first investment, the first time 0, they invest 1,945,000. And then they start getting inflows. They get 713,123 the first year.
Did you want to record this?
It is.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I think it is. Yeah, I did.
Oh, sorry, it is.
And then 722,500, and then 745,614. The reason the numbers aren't round is I wanted the IRR to be a round number, but since you're doing this, computers don't really care. So this is no trial and error, so probably on your exams it won't be a round number, so don't look for that. All right, so make sure you key those in. You need your discount rate. Their discount rate is 6.5%. So then it gets really easy. The MPV, Bill Gates is going to tell you the formula. So you do equal what kind of MPV? X MPV. And Bill Gates tells you the rate, the values, and the dates. And you got it. All right? Can't get much easier than that. So this is more of an Excel exercise than it's a net present value. But one of the reasons my devious self makes you do that discounted payback is you do have to set up the present value. I force you to do it anyway. So I'm not a big fan of payback, but at least it forces you to do that. Then the IRR, the same thing. Equal X IRR. You do the values. You do the dates. And then be very careful in this question that you answer questions, all the questions. Calculate the net present value. Would you recommend this project and why? Make sure those are all in here, all right? So on the net present value, what do we say? Except because NPV is what? Greater than 0. Someone's going to say on the IRR, accept because IRR is greater than 0, and that will be wrong. So you accept because IRR is greater than what? Than the cost of capital. All right? 7.96 is greater than 6.5%. If someone's getting a different answer than I'm getting, let me know, because there's always possibilities of typos and things. All right, so if you do that, you get that far, you'll probably get 60, 70% credit, maybe 75% credit. So the real work is this last part. So you got to do the discounted cash flows. So to do that, you take each cash flow and divide it by, this is the same thing you're doing with the bond, right? We're getting a use of that. 1 plus the rate, lock that rate in, raise to the time. And make sure you have the parentheses all in the right places. It's the cash flow divided by 2 parentheses, 1 plus the rate, 1 parentheses, and time, 1 parenthesis, all right? You got to make sure you know exactly what's getting raised to what. Reese? I'll solve some of you, I emailed a couple of y'all on your homework, especially on the stock side, you left out the parentheses. So you're taking the dividend times 1 plus the rate divided by the discount rate minus growth. But you're doing everything divided by the discount rate and you're subtracting growth at the end. You can get the wrong answer if you do that. That costs you a lot of points. So. All right, so there's our cash flows. And we'll just bring that down. Raise to the 0.5, raise to the 1.5, and raise to the 2.5. All right, so cash flow divided by 2 parentheses, 1 plus the rate, 1 parentheses, raised to the time, 1 parentheses. Now you'll know it'd be right. You should, this irks me too. If a student gets like $782,000 here, what do you know this column has to be? It has to be less than a column, right? You just know that's the case. So if you're getting like $852,000 or you're getting $27, you know it's, don't you have a feel, right, that the present value of $713,000 is just half a year out? It's going to be something slightly less than $713, all right? So I say don't count off for math errors. I don't know why you can have math errors in Excel or you can have formula errors. But there are times where you should just know it's the wrong answer. You should go back and fix those. If you find that you have a wrong answer, you can't figure it out, at least tell me on the exam, since there's got to be something wrong with this number. It's too large, it's too small. That way, at least they give you some credit for understanding the number's way off. All right, then after that, you do the cumulative DCF. So you start off with that negative, and you take that negative and add this year's positive. Take that negative, add this year's positive. Take that negative, add this year's positive. This should be really close to what? Should be really close to your present value. It could be off by a few $100s because of the way we're doing the time, but it should be close. Is anyone getting these numbers by any chance?
Sorry, could you go to
All right, so the cumulative, you take the cash flow from the discounted cash flow. The next year, you take the cumulative from the previous year and add this year's discounted cash flow. Next year, you take the previous year's cumulative DCF and you add this year's cash flow all the way down. I don't know why it's off that much, so it's kind of strange, but that makes me worried a little bit. I don't hear anybody clicking. Anyone's getting any answers? Matthias, you got this? All right, good. All right. So then we're going to do the payback. Remember, you skipped the first year because that's 0. And if you skip the first line, that's 0. That's times 0. All right. If it's a negative number, what do you type here? Type a 1 because you need that whole year. Negative, at the negative number, you need a 1. You don't need to set up the if function unless you just want to. The last year is positive. So we began the year with a $596,000 deficit. In a year, we benefited by $637. So you just take minus your cumulative divided by this year's cash flow, and that gives you your payback. So your payback is just the sum of those. So 2.94 years. All right, so do your best, at least get as much setup as you can. This is one part. Some students will miss just exam anxiety, but that's the definite payback. we're using discounted cash flows, and if a year is still, if the cumulative discounted cash flow is still negative, then we used all that year. It wasn't until it goes positive that we get a payback. And when did it go positive in this year? Well, we started with a deficit of 596, the year only had 637, so obviously we went through almost the entire year before this thing went positive. All right, so 294, what can we say about 294? Where their cutoff is 2.5, so what do we do here? Reject, because the payback exceeds the standard 2.5 year. If you have exactly that set up, you get 100%. So I'm not looking for long essays on this, real straightforward stuff, all right? Questions on this one?
Could you share the formula for IRR?
Well, Bill Gates tells you, so once you type XIRR, he'll tell you what to do.
Thank you.
Other questions on that? Reese? Is it Reese?
I think the IR thing, so, my numbers don't look like the numbers.
What number do you have?
For DCF and community DCF, they're all negative somehow.
Yeah, you have to show me afterwards, because that's not,
I'm getting numbers similar to yours, but they're not exactly lecture numbers.
yeah, probably your dates are slightly different. So check your dates. I got 5 all the way down.
I have 5 as well.
Yeah, I have to look, I don't know why it's a little bit different. You sure you got all these numbers typed right? Did I type them all right? You know, they should be exactly the same. There's no reason why Bill Gates would do it differently one way.
I see what happened. I forgot to add the 500 to that
Yeah,
722,000.
it should be the same. Anything else? All right.